Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's game against Bengaluru FC. Today we have with us head coach Des Buckingham and defender Rahul Beke, who will be addressing the press conference. Floor is open. You can introduce yourself and ask your questions.
Yeah, coach, just you weren't here after the last match, so on starting a note, how convincing was that victory against Chennai, and do you think it was as perfect a performance that you can want from this team?
Firstly, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming to the hotel. It makes things a lot easier for us rather than spending 5 hours in a car the day before a game, so thank you for that firstly. The last game, again, obviously happy at the end of the game, certainly the second half and the impact that was had, but we want to achieve things this year, and we're aware we can't give away goals the way we did. I thought that Chennai started better than we did. In the two games prior to that with ATK Mumbagan and Kerala, I thought we started very well. Chennai started better than we did. We didn't start poorly, they were just better. It took us a little bit more time to get into the game in the way that we would want. But as soon as we got back in with the 2-1, from that point forwards, I'm extremely happy with how we played and how we approached things, and all the way through to the 94th minute where we hit the 6th goal. It's good to know that we have that capability to score those goals. But again, we've got a lot of work to do that if we want to be successful this year, that we need to focus on as well to make sure that we come away with more results over the next couple of games.
Also, coach, with 6 goals, 6 different scorers, the likes of Vineet and Vineet scoring, who hasn't played much this season, even with Nation. How important is it for all the squad players who aren't getting much time on the field for them to come into the fore and contribute constructively on the field? How well does that bode for the team going ahead in this?
Yeah, I think there was a part of last year where we lost a couple of key players. We weren't able to sustain the momentum that we had. Whereas this year we've gone about recruiting players into those roles. We brought Vinny in early in January this time last year, and of course Chante. But otherwise we're very much an unchanged squad. We've obviously had some change in the foreign department, but that's only been 4 players. Otherwise it's still the same squad. The good thing is now we've got them all fit, and we've got competition across each of the positions that we have in our team, mostly 2 in every position. And when we play well. Of course, it's up for the players to fight for the positions and fight for the starting spots in particular. But what's been pleasing is those that haven't started games or haven't maybe got as much game time as they wanted, when they've come on, they've had good impact. And that's going to be so important, not just in the games that have gone, but in the games that we've got coming up, that continues, whether they start or that they come on to finish the game. Because if we want to be successful this year, we've already seen the impact that can have in games. And I've spoken before about, we're not a team of individuals. We have to be a team, and that involves everyone that's in our squad.
The last match against Bengaluru FC was the Durand Cup final, which Bengaluru won 2-1. But since then a lot has changed for both the teams. Bengaluru are not playing that well this season, while Mumbai are flying. So what do you think has changed since then? How differently will you approach this match?
Yeah, I mean the final was nearly 2 months ago now, and like you say, a lot has changed. I don't want to speak too much on them. Again, we'll always focus on us. All I can say is we use the Durand Cup to firstly try and be as successful as we can, and we got to the final in our first attempt in that competition. And it was unfortunate not to come away from the final with the trophy. But what it did is we used it as an opportunity to prepare ourselves for the ISL season. And the big focus has been making sure that we could continue on from where we left off at the Champions League, and then making sure that when we started round 1, that we started well. And then it was about getting better every round. And the way that I think we've played, certainly in the last 6 games, I feel that we've done that, and we're starting to show how we want to play more often and for longer periods within games. So yes, we're a different team than we were when we played them in the final, but again, so are they, and that just comes about time that we've been able to spend together. We've obviously been able to try a few different things. We've got different ways that we can play this year with different personnel, and all those ingredients are very important to making sure we come away with more results for both this game coming up and going forwards.
This season, Mumbai City FC have been involved in an average of 4 goals per match, while Bengaluru are barely 1 goals per match, 1.2 approx. So, what do you think happens when such teams with contrasting styles and contrasting goal tallies come against each other?
Yeah, you don't get any more points, unfortunately, for winning 4-0 or 6-2 than you do winning 1-0. we look at Hyderabad, who have picked up 1-0 results in the last 4 games. You still pick up 3 points at the end of it. What's pleasing for me this year is, we've played 6, we've kept 2 clean sheets. We obviously conceded 3 to Hyderabad, but otherwise defensively I think we've been a lot stronger than we were last year. But we've also shown we've got multiple goal scorers this year and multiple threats, whereas last year we had Igor Angula, who was very good for us, but if Igor wasn't scoring, we struggled in certain times, in certain moments to have contributions from elsewhere. And the pleasing thing is this year, we had 6 goal scorers in the last game as an example, and all 6 were very different. So that's the pleasing thing for me.
Couple of questions for Rahul. Rahul bhai, you've been obviously having a lot more responsibility this season, captaining in almost all of the matches. There have been some new faces in the backline. Rostin, Sanjeev has been playing a lot more. Purva is still a relatively new face. How much more important does your responsibility become since you have been playing the ISL for so long?
So as a senior, it's really important for me that I help my team playing different positions or going in attack, defense, and there are new additions to the team, like you said. Roshan is there, Stalin is there, so it's important that we gel up together very well in the defense line and help the team keep clean sheets. So that's our main target, that as a defender we have to keep clean sheets and help the team.
So this is the first time that you will play in front of Mumbai crowd against your former club. So how are those emotions coming up? You had a long association with PFC as well. So are you really looking forward for the next?
Yeah, I'm looking forward for this game because last year also I played against them, but it was a neutral venue for both the teams. But this time I'm playing in front of the home crowd. And keeping emotions aside, it's important I focus on the game because it's important for us at this stage to keep getting points, and because it's a long league, we have another 13 games ahead, so our target is to be on the top of the league. So keeping those emotions aside, it's important that I focus on the game and get those 3 points.
Coach, I just wanted to ask, it's obviously a great thing that so many people are scoring goals for you. Do you have new selection headaches coming up with every game, because you obviously started with Apuya Vinny in the middle, then there was a time when Greg was playing up front, but now Diaz has obviously been scoring in the last couple of games. So your setup, the 11 that you come up with, does it change with the opposition that is in front of you, or the form of the players that you have in your squad?
Yeah, we have problems every week. That's a good position that we wanted to be in, and it's not happened by chance, it's happened by planning. That's been around our recruitment at the start of January of last year, to make sure that in games we try and field what we feel is the right 11, not necessarily the best 11, and if that is the best 11 then great, but if that doesn't work, or we need to maybe approach it differently during the 90 minutes, we've shown that we can already do that, and the impact that can have in these games. So the pleasing thing is, like I said, not only have we got the depth in terms of our squad right now, where they're all fully fit, but we've got good people in the group. So those that maybe haven't played as much as they would want, they're still training and pushing and contributing positively towards what we want to achieve this year. And as long as we keep doing that as a team, we will continue to try and put on the performances that we have shown more consistently, and hopefully that brings away more results in terms of 3 points.
Good evening, Coach. Suraj here. As Rahul bhai told you, we have to keep a clean sheet. As we have seen Bengaluru struggling for goals, despite they have Roy Krishna, Sumit Chhetri, but in 6 games, for 2 clean sheet only, you have to. There will be any defensive change for keeping the clean sheet?
Our approach doesn't tend to change too often. We've got a way that we want to play, and when I talk about playing, that's not just with the ball. We have a way that we want to play without the ball, and the players are very clear on what that looks like. We have to be wary of other teams. You've mentioned 2 there, and Roy Krishna and Chhetri, but they have other players that can cause problems. And if anyone that's watched the 6 games that they have played already, although they took the results maybe that they would have wanted, they've certainly created the chances to score more goals than they have, and have maybe been unfortunate to not come away with more results because of that. So we are wary of that. But in terms of our approach, we won't change what we do. We'll make slight tweaks to make sure we can try and get the better of what are very good players and a good team. But we have a way we do things here, and the players are clear on that, and we'll stick true to that.
Afternoon, Coach. This from Hindustan Times. Coach, so last game you guys went 2-0 down. What stood out for you, like, rallying and coming back and winning 6-2? What stood out for you in the game?
Players sticking to what we wanted to achieve. I think very often when you have a game plan in a way that you want to play, when things don't quite go your way, and you look at, they've scored from a set piece after we had a lot of the ball, and then they've hit us on the counter attack to make it 2-0. And at times, players that either don't believe in what we're doing, or players that are maybe not as professional as they could be or should be, can start to do what they want. And as soon as one or two players start doing that, when things aren't going right, the whole thing falls down. So the pleasing thing for me was, despite the scoreline, we were still playing, in my opinion, pretty well. And the players stuck to task. And because they'd done that, we put ourselves in a strong position at half-time when we went back in at 2-2. And then when the changes certainly were made, obviously Vineet coming in at half-time and Vignesh, that's always nice when the two changes that are made come on and score and open the scoreline up to 4-2. But it was the team sticking to what we work on, and we work on a daily basis, to make sure that come the end of the 94 minutes or 95 as it may be, that at the end of the game we're all clear on what we do and how we do it, and that was what was the pleasing thing there.
Coach, you also just spoke about the two substitutions inside. All three of the substitutions, like the second half was like the first three substitutions you made scored. So like, what were the tactical tweaks that you saw in the first half that you wanted to make? And like, how pleasing was it for you to see all three substitutions just come off the bench and score immediately?
Yeah, I had Joe signalling to me after Nogueira scored, and I couldn't work out what he was saying to me. And when I took him off in the second half, he actually came over and said, "The three substitutions you made in the second half, all three scored." And I said, "Yes, that's why we're on the sidelines, and that's our jobs to try and when that happens, that's great, But we try and. There's been times in games where this season we've made changes, and although the player may not have scored, they've come on and had a positive impact in how we want to play and finish the games. It's our job from the side to try and make sure that we put the right players on at the right time, because we see in this league, it's okay planning for what you think you may get during a game, but the biggest thing for me, and the biggest thing I've seen in high performance sport, especially in football, it's about how you manage the game in the game, because things don't always go your way, and even when they do, you're always trying to look for an advantage about where can you take advantage. And those three substitutions in particular, they stood out because they scored, but then you look at Fall, who come on late as well. He didn't score, but the way he allowed us to shore up our defence was very good. And then of course with Raul coming off, we had the opportunity to get Sanjeev on as well and give him some more game time.
And last question, Coach. You've been having a lot of defensive frailties. You've been facing a lot of defensive frailties in the second phase of a set piece. Like, what is your plan to deal with that now?
We must focus on it. It's an area, I think, of the 8 goals we've conceded, 6 have been set plays, a mix of corners, throw-ins and free kicks. So it is an area of concern, because we know if we can, we look at last year, that wasn't the case. And I know that teams will certainly be looking at that to try and take advantage of that. So if we can make sure we spend the time that we want to and we get that right, we know we're a difficult side to create chances against, because the stats will show us that. But there will be a lot more time and attention is paid to that, and again it's small detail. It's not mass change and mass in the structure. It's making sure that the detail is very clear, and the players, that when the situation arises, we need to make sure we do our jobs as well as we can to make sure we don't concede those goals, because you can't always come back from whether it's a 2-0 or a 1-0, and that one goal might be so decisive in the result.
And just one question for Rahul. Rahul, you as a captain, how empowering was for you to see the team rally behind and get that win, come back and get that win in the last game, as captain?
I think it was really good to see that team is doing well, and at the same time we made that comeback. So at the end of the game, when I just thought about the game, so it was important that we get that first goal in the first half after conceding 2 goals. I think that was the point, major point where everything turned, that we got that first goal before going into the halftime. And I'm really happy that the players who are coming off the bench are scoring. So it's really good that the ones who are playing as well as the ones who are coming off the bench are doing well for the team, and that's what is really a good sign for the team. So I'm really proud of that.
Thank you.
Coach, just a quick word on like what is the team news? Any injury concerns? Because games are coming thick and fast now. You're in Chennai a few days ago. You'll be on the road soon. So how are the players recovering, and are there any concerns with regards to that heading into tomorrow's game?
All fit and all ready.
Just to wrap up, one final question for Rahul, especially. The last game home game against ATK Mohun Bagan, there was a great support from the crowd, and it was a special atmosphere. How much are you looking forward to playing again in the stadium, and especially as a local Mumbai boy? What are your expectations from tomorrow's game from the crowd?
It really helped me and as well as the team in our ITK game, where the crowd was huge, massive, and they were supporting all the players, and it really helped everyone on the field. And I'm looking forward to have more fans in stands tomorrow also. It's a very important game for us, so I'm just looking forward to play the game in front of the home ground.
Any further questions? All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Ram.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.